Welcome back to another video. It's y'all's favorite video, at least I think it is, because when I miss it, people ask for it. Our Monday update videos, our weekly update on what's going on in the crypto world. The one that I always say, I'm trying not to make it too long, and it ends up being about 1 hour and 10 minutes. I would like to sit here and lie to you and tell you it's going to be short again, because some projects I don't have really anything to say about it. And there's some projects that if you've caught any of my Twitter and are up to date on all the controversy going on there, the controversy of me being attacked in the DIMO Discord by the same goofball who was also attacking me, 2 months ago in NATIX or Soarchain's, I think it was Soarchain's Discord. The guy who's still salty because he thinks the reason DeFly screwed everybody over, stole thousands of dollars, and was a rug pull is because I talk bad about him. Yeah, that same guy. So I'm too old for that. I ain't got time to deal with that, so I just block him and I move on. But, we'll see. So we do have a lot to talk about with some projects, and I have been putting videos out, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have the bell notification on. Make sure you hit like on this button, on this video, the little thumbs up button, because it helps out all these projects that I have tagged below in the description. And let's get to it. So I want to say I've just ticked over 30,600 subscribers, slowly working for that 31,000 mark. But I'm truly grateful for everybody's support. And again, we just had this entropy drop again on Helium deploy, and I want to thank everybody who used my code. It helps out the channel a lot. Again, I had a kind of a special I was doing where I would either take 20% of the rewards that I got for people using the code, or at least $100. The 20% is right under 100. It's like 90 something dollars. So I'm doing $100 when those rewards drop around the 15th or 16th. I'll probably be on vacation, but at some point, whenever my next video is, I will be dropping, buying $100 worth of the entropy token and immediately burning it. Just a little way to add a little liquidity and help that project. But again, I want to take time before we get too deep into things. We're going to talk about entropy some more during that section, but I want to take just a minute and thank everybody who thought about me, thought about this channel, thought about our support that we've had for Entropy for a while now. And thank you for using my token, my code. And also, I was contacted by Helium Deploy, and Helium Deploy is working on sending me a miner, also an Entropy Ashland miner, and we'll be running a contest. I don't know exactly the details on that yet. They did confirm with me just today in email that they are sending me one, basically with the sheer number that people bought my tokens with. And I will be doing a giveaway for that. There's going to be some stipulations to that. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that yet, but what I'm looking at is, I've did some handouts and stuff in the past where, if you wanted a free SDR when we were doing BYOD miners and stuff with Wingbits, and I would say, I'll go ahead and just add my code right here. So majority of the items that we do discuss, you can pick up at Helium Deploy, the GEODNET miners, Wingbits GEODNET miners, Nubula. I'm talking about Nubula in a second. Also, Entropy Ashlands when they're in stock, rovers. We're going to talk about rovers in a second. So all those devices that we discuss, you can pick up a Helium Deploy for a 10% discount when you use my code. Several of y'all did. Several of y'all bought different items where you might have bought an Entropy Ashland along with Wingbits device in the past. Also with a Nubula, with a rover. And this time, though, I found it wasn't as many combos. The last time, there was a lot of combos. Like, everybody was just kind of holding their money and said, okay, we're just going to spend it all. This time, I had multiple miners being sold. I had somebody who bought 5. He came on Discord and said, hey, I'm the guy that bought 5. I told him, thank you very much, and I appreciate it. Grumpy bought 2 of them. I kept going back and forth, and honestly, I screwed up because I bought 1. Then I waited and bought another one. But, again, thank you all for the support. So, going back to what we were talking about. So Helium deploys, emailing them back and forth today. They are sending me an Ashler. We will be doing some type of giveaway, but like I said, in the past, the giveaways I did back then were kind of different. It was kind of like just me trusting y'all on some things, but because I was giving away my stuff. Now it's going to be this Ashler from Helium Deploy. I'm going to have to figure out a website where it will actually verify that you are a member of my Discord, Helium Deploy's Discord, and my Twitter and my Discord, just different stuff like that. So I'm working on all that. It's new to me. So you can expect that. I might have that up before I leave on my vacation. This Saturday is a family vacation for us. We're driving 20 hours or 18 hours to Washington, D.C. as a kind of big family thing before my son leaves for college. And he'll wish me luck. 20 hours in the vehicle, 2 teenagers. Hey, you know, that's what they wanted to do. We looked at flying. Flying was outrageous. $1,800 for 4 people. I twisted it around. It's a road trip for me. So there'll be more phones hanging off that vehicle than people going to think it's a spaceship, because I will be running everything. I'm going to be running the Soarchain, and I'm going to be running NATIX, and I'm going to be running even the Soarchain camera app. And I'm going to be running Silencio when we stop. And I'm going to be running 375 AI and Chirp KAGE and basically everything I can, and see how that goes. Some interesting stuff I'm going to work on with Chirp KAGE, but we're going to discuss that also in that section. So before I get too far, but you know, with me leaving on that trip Saturday, and I'll probably go on until next Saturday, Sunday, will be very limited videos and shorts and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to do some shorts while I'm out there, just to try to keep the algorithm going on the YouTube channel. Likely there's not going to be a Monday update video unless there's something really going on. It'll be from the hotel room or something, I don't know, but you know, we'll see how that goes. And probably won't be live on Thursday either, depending on where I'm at and what's going on either. So y'all gonna have to try to cope for a week without me. But let's go ahead and start looking at with how things are going with the market, and also with this with these projects and stuff. So if you remember from last week, I drew some squiggly lines on here and drew some different lines and stuff, but just pretend like I know what the hell I'm talking about with TA stuff. But basically what I said was, you've been having this line come down. If you look at it, it's been kind of going down, in spite of the logickly stuff. And you know, here it was basically meeting here, this convergence right here, convergence of the universe. And I said I thought that it was probably likely going to break to this upside. And you know, normally it breaks up and then corrects a little bit and breaks up. So far, Grumpy pretends and acts like he almost knows what he's talking about. You know, it came here, that point was right here, and here you go. Our last video that we did was on the 2nd. So, you know, actually, you know, this kind of went up, down, and back up, which I don't know. It's like, it's cool to pretend like I know what the hell I'm talking about. But either way, we're back up to 110,000, even with the LA riots going on again. The way the media talks, you would think that this is widespread across Los Angeles. I'm not getting political or anything like that. Talking to a buddy of mine who is on ground zero living out there, says it's just very small pockets, but the media is blowing it up way worse than what it is. But it is far from peaceful. So whoever's trying to say these are peaceful protests, there are police officers and firemen and just different people who are down there trying to do stuff, EMTs with rescues and stuff, who are getting hurt. They're getting beat up with rocks and different other objects. Vehicles set on fire, so it's far from peaceful, and that's basically all I'm going to say about that. But even with that nonsense and all that stuff going on, because I don't think it helps any kind of cause, you still have this driving up right here. So we'll see what Bitcoin does. Ethereum, you have, you know, we had this jump up in May right here, and we just been sideways. This is the 4-hour chart. Going back to the 1-hour chart, you know, you've had a nice recovery, but this is kind of just almost a sideways thing between 2,700, 2,500. So hopefully this goes up with Ethereum and keeps on going. I mean, with the Bitcoin. One thing I wanted to look at and discuss was, like, y'all know I scratch my head all the time on Helium. I don't know what's going on with Helium. Y'all might be more into it than I am. I don't follow it as much as I used to. I still have my 17, 18 miners out there just chugging along. You know, what's going on behind the scenes that caused this kind of chaos, I don't know. But at one point, we were back up in the fours again. We thought, hey, baby, we're back again. You know, 440, 450. And then we are just chugging back down. When we did our video last week, we were at 330, and we've been in the twos today. 279 over the weekend, 290, 290. And we did not see a big pump today to go along with what Bitcoin and Ethereum have done. This is still a working project, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what's going on with Helium. You know, with Solana, I know I'm a big fan of Solana. You can't go anywhere without hearing about Solana. It's about how you might feel about it. You have all these deep in projects being built on it, 2,000 memes a day built on it. Some very good projects also being built on it. The ones that we really support, the Wingbits, Entropy and stuff, they're all on Solana. It's got the speed, it can handle it. Very rarely now gets bogged down. So it is, you know, we're there. Y'all know that when it starts getting around this level down here, 140s, 150s, 130s, I like to buy. I didn't buy this time. I got this trip coming up, but I saw that and I'm like, man, I wish I could have bought. My little alarm went off. But you know, we're up to 160 right now, and it wasn't that long ago that we were up here in the 200s again. So we'll have to wait and see with Solana. It's had a little bit of bump up today, kind of like what Bitcoin did. And AVAX is another one we've been DCAing in. And even though it was down here in this, 18 just a couple of days ago, even though it was back in this 18 point right here, it was up to, you got back up to about $22 today. So AVAX is recovering also. Another DCA that I'm into is VET or VeChain. There's still a lot of marketing going on, a lot of MMA stuff, wrestling and different things like that are promoting it. A lot of projects that are also on it. It was down to this about 2.2 level, whatever. I'm DCAing into that every payday, and it's slowly working its way back up. It was at 3, and it was well over 3 a while back. So it was in May. So it's, again, hopefully this is just beginning of some more momentum. And one final one that's really still got me scratching my head is Peak. You heard a lot about Peak. A lot of projects supposed to be going to be using Peak or starting to use Peak, Silencio and some of these other ones. It's been this downward drop ever since really it launched. Me, I'm kind of stuck in this rut that I started buying it so high at 50 and 60 cents that I'm buying this every payday. Not a lot, $25, $30 here or there. But again, 74 cents, 75 cents. I didn't buy that high, but I was buying it here at this 50 range up on the dip right here. And I've been buying this whole way down. The good thing is now, this has been going on for so long. This is February, March, April, May, that, I've been buying every payday. Again, about $20 worth just to get my average cost down. Doing the math, I'm kind of down to, the teens level. So I'm hoping this has a nice recovery. If this thing can get back up in here, almost $1, I'm going to be doing very, very, very well. We'll see. You let this get back to $1 while we buying at 9 and 10 cents. That's a 10x. I'll take that all day. One thing that we really didn't discuss, and I don't want to make this that much longer, we still got a lot of projects to cover, is alt seasons. Is there going to be a huge alt season? Y'all let me know in the comments, because despite who you want to listen to on YouTube, you have a lot of people starting to say right now, you're not going to have this crazy steroid, super strong alt season like we had the last cycle. Then you still got the other people who are still holding their guns saying the cycle's the cycle, no matter what the cycle is. It's a little bit later than normal, but because of this money going in here, and you look at this market and you look at this and this and this index, it shows you a strong alt season's right around the corner. I don't know. I'm not gonna say a lot to tell you I'm not getting a little worried, because y'all know all my money, any extra collateral, any extra capital I had, anything was going into alts. I don't own a lot of Bitcoin. I could tell you right now, if we get through this bull market and it's only Bitcoin, come bear market time, I'm only buying Bitcoin. I'm done with alts. That's just me. I'll have enough exposure with alts with the projects that we're in. Maybe move some of that to Solana like I did with Helium for months, as I sold Helium IoT every day, $5 worth, and bought Solana. And that might be my exposure. Any extra capital, any extra money I have, or even for my projects that should be at mainnet by that point, I'm gonna convert to Bitcoin. If it looks like that Grumpy thinks it's looking, who knows? These still got people who think by, October, November, we're going to be slam in the middle of a good alt season. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. So let's get done with all that stuff, and let's start talking about our projects and see where we are with our projects. Number one project, we're just going to jump into it because we're way behind on schedule, but it's going to be Entropy. And I have, just when you thought it was safe, because it was twins, the doctor reveals to you that, no, it's not twins. It is triplets. That's right. I received in the mail today, as a thank you gift from the gentleman. I know it's a strong word for the team at Entropy, but number trace. And now there were 3. So I would like to take a second to thank the guys, headquarters, those guys from Entropy, for gifting me an Ashler. Is that just a sexy set of triplets you've ever seen in your life, or what? Yes, I received the 3rd one today in the mail. They had mentioned a while back that they were going to send me one, and I didn't know if I was still going to get it or not with how crazy things went. And sure enough, it appeared in the mail today. So I have 3 now. I got 3 NFTs, 3 extra NFTs. I bought 6 NFTs during the pre-mint. I have 3 ESPs behind me. I now have 3 Ashlers in front of me. It's a hell of a sandwich. And I also bought 2 more Ashlers from Helium Deploy. So for those of y'all who want to know about me having to buy NFTs, yes, now I'm stuck having to buy 2 more NFTs. That's also in addition to Helium Deploy right here sending me another one for a giveaway for y'all. So there will be a giveaway for an Entropy Ashler if you skipped my first rant, or whatever you'll call it, opening dialogue. And we will be figuring out how we're going to run that and stuff like that. But yes, Helium Deploy, for those who didn't watch the first part, skip through the chapters and got here, Helium Deploy is gifting me an Ashler. They are going to ship it out. So when y'all win, I'll get y'all's information. We will give it to Helium Deploy, and Helium Deploy will ship it out directly when they come into stock in July. So it should be sometime in July, later July, I think is what the website says. So we have some time. Like I said, I'm going on that vacation next week, but I'd like to try to get this rolling before that. But I want to thank Helium Deploy again for that. And I also want to thank the Entropy team, those guys over there that thought of it, let me do it. Professor, Vice Commodore, Newfic, all them guys. I appreciate all their support that they've given me and my channel and the project they're running. So I'm going to have to start up another Phantom address and get this onboarded at some point. And this one is going on my desk at work. Even though I'd like to sit here and look at 3, y'all know that I purchased. No, this isn't Jamaican roster hair, is it? Well, something like that. This is a 10-port USB hub that I also purchased these little short 6-inch USBs. And these have my ESP32s running on them. My ESP32s, if y'all can hear me. for, Entropy, ERWIN, Junk Coin, and a Bitcoin solo miner. And these are on another hub that's right here next to my desk, because I want to sit here and stare at them. And when they turn pink once an hour or whatever it is, when they do a report. So this one is going to be set up tomorrow at my office. Can't wait, dude. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for everybody to pass by and be like, what is that sexy thing sitting on your desk? I'll be like, it's nothing. So again, make sure you're part of my Discord. My Discord talks about a lot of these projects over and over. I didn't get really a chance to talk about that too much. There's a link in the description below. We're up to 148 members. And as you can see, we have a bunch of projects listed, and people are doing a good job. They're either updating it, or on some projects, I have the updates from their announcements when it works correctly, which isn't on me, it's on them. But, of course, this one's on fire right now. So that's that. So as some people discussed, yes, the rewards for Entropy, nothing is going down. We were at 140,000 tokens last week. We're down to about 106,000 tokens right now, which is still giving us about a $7 a day if people would quit selling in just such huge chunks like they're doing. Every time this thing starts getting some momentum and starts working its way up, some greedy bastard has to clip us at the kneecaps. But you can see, it was at a high price point, and something to do with these ashes. But when these ashes started coming up, I think people just panicked and sold, and these huge sales came through, knocked the price down and came down. But it seems like since maybe Thursday, Friday, we've had this slow momentum going back up. You're doing very well and you're moving back up, and then somebody comes back and sells for $400. Then it comes back up, and then somebody sold early for $350. Why? I mean, why not just do, like, even for me, like what I did is I have one of my miners that I've already burned like 20 million tokens. So every couple of days, I might sell like $20 out of it. And I'm putting that on the side. And what I did is I'll either do some of it, I'll put, just to be honest with y'all, I don't lie, even despite what some people say on Discord. What I'll do is I'll put a little bit on the side, and that's why I use some of that to purchase my Entropy Ashler, one of them. They didn't pay for all of it, just maybe $40 out of it. The rest of it came from selling something from a little bit different coin token I had. I'm kind of losing faith in, or something, or out of PayPal or something. I don't know. But again, if people just not sell these huge chunks and just kind of hold on, we could have this momentum going back up, because that's the whole idea. The whole idea is if we can get the price to kind of go back up, it's going to offset what we are seeing our rewards drop down to, if that makes sense. Somebody said earlier that their miner, they got like 95,000 tokens. But again, if this goes up back up to 0.0075 or something like that, you'll still be at the $7 range that I got on my sheet, but you will be getting a little bit less token. But we got to remember that this is also for a long haul. This is a long stretch, kind of like with any other project. And people starting to panic already. Look, they got a lot more ashlers that need to be delivered. I'm gonna take a deep breath. The Discord is getting a little crazy with some people with some crazy questions. And I know we're getting a lot of questions about people wanting to sell already. They've had an ashler in their hands for 3 days, and they're already talking about selling. We have been over this before. Anybody who's watching this video is new to that project. Do not go sell this stuff this new. You're going to be kicked out the project, and that ashler you have is going to be a fancy paperweight. What I'm telling you, at least, I'm not exaggerating, at least, I don't want to say 10. I'd say 6 or 7 people who've already contacted me in the last week on how should they burn, how should they hold and stuff like that. Of course, they want to get some tokens in their wallet. So can they claim? Yes, you can claim. You have to claim every 7 days, at the very least every 7 days, because on the 8th day, whatever you made on that first day is now going to burn. What I'm telling people though is wait 8 days. Wait 8 days and then claim. That's what I'm doing on my 2 Ashlers and one of my other ESP32s is I'm not claiming till every 8th day, because then you're doing 100,000 or so tokens into your pre-burn. And then you claim and still claiming 7 days worth. Then you wait another 8 days. And they asked me to do a video on that. I might do a separate video on that since I need to stock up some videos while I'm gone. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm guiding. You know, people ask me again, none of this is ever financial advice. I don't know. I'm not a part of this project. I'm not a team member. This project could be gone tomorrow. Not that I think it's going to happen, knock on wood, but I'm just saying that can happen with every project. I tell everybody all the time, nobody saw the FTX fiasco coming. Nobody was prepared for it. People lost billions. Anything could happen, anything at any point. So I don't know. You make your own financial decisions. I can't make financial decisions for you, but I'm telling you, when people ask me for the guidance of what am I doing, what Grumpy's doing is on these Ashlers, I'm claiming every 8 days. Again, so I got 1 day, which is 100,000 or whatever it is, going into burn. Then what you hope is a couple of weeks from now, after doing that, you have enough that you can go and sell $20 worth or $25 worth. I don't want to get in trouble for saying that, but your second law requirement of what you have to have in that wallet is not that bad because you're pre-burned. So there'll be a video at some point. I have way too many people ask me for videos. I don't really want to do a video on selling on Entropy because I just gave you a long lecture why we don't want to sell on Entropy. But selling $10 or $15 here or there so you can slowly work to get you a little bit of money back from a Entropy Ashler, you know, a couple of weeks from now, I don't see an issue with that. I wouldn't do that today. I wouldn't do that after mining 3 days. You're going to get the G to the leader is going to come out of retirement and snip you. That's it. All right. So I think we discussed Entropy enough. No, probably not. But for this video, enough. Moving on to number 2 is Chirp. Chirp, I'm still making about 152 tokens every epoch on my Chirp Blackbird device. I have to make sure I say that correctly because I had some people question me on how the hell was I making 152 tokens on the Chirp KAGE. No, Chirp Blackbird miner, but every 2 days, that's about when this epoch is hitting. I'm getting about 152 tokens. With that token, you know, I'm making about, right with the price right now, Chirp, I'm making about $6. As far as the KAGE app is concerned, I don't turn the KAGE app off. I'm having problems with the Android phone I had. The screen is getting drastically worse. It's got all these lines in it now from being cracked. And I'm trying to find another used Android phone because you have to have an Android phone. And it's not been easy. I want to get one before I do this trip, though. So I'm telling you, I'm still running the Chirp KAGE app hard. I've had many people make comments to me about my comments I made in the Chirp app. I'm in the Chirp Discord. I made those comments on a video last week, and I will continue to say to y'all, there ain't no possible way the top 2 guys in Chirp KAGE are doing this legit. And I will say that all day. I don't care who contacts me and wants to argue in their behalf. Well, I got a friend who's doing it. He's getting close to the same thing. I don't care. You can't tell me that these guys are getting 3-point-something million tokens every single day. It ain't happening. So I don't know where I left off. I want to go get these stats so I can look right at them. So the guy VR46, whoever the hell that is, came out of nowhere. Last week, he was nowhere on the leaderboard to be found. Shoots past Soarchain, who we first already thought was cheating, and he has passed him up by almost 3 million. Since my Thursday live, when I wrote down numbers for y'all at 7:56 p.m., we are exactly 4 days later. VR56 has got 2 million more tokens per night. VR56 had 3.6 million on the night. He has 7.9 million now. Again, I'm not bringing it up in the Discord no more because I'm the only one complaining about it. even though you have to understand these two guys, when they get first and second place, they're getting majority of the winning tokens. Now, the other guys below that have some more reasonable numbers. I have no problem with them winning first or second place. I know I'm not. So it ain't that, oh, I'm crying because I'm not going to be in first or second place. I just want to see it done fairly. I have people who are contacting me. They're cool as hell, but they're trying to argue on their behalf, saying, look, I got a friend that does this. You know, if you walk around, you get more points and stuff like that. But they're saying these guys are taxi cab drivers in very high metropolitan areas. I put on Discord the other day, what you know, you had to cross like 3,200 cell sites a day, new cell sites, because when you scan them for the second time, you're not getting the same amount of points. 3,200 new cell sites. The city of New York don't have that. Oh, but if you're walking around, you're going to get more Bluetooths and Wi-Fi's. That's fine, but Bluetooths are worth 1 point. You're not doing 2 million Wi-Fi's or 2 million Bluetooths. When you look at the numbers, it's impossible to get 2 to 3 million every day. But I said, look, you know what? I told everybody in the Discord and the people who contacted me, you know, I had a lot of people contact me say, you're right, this is just impossible. But again, if Chirp KAGE wants to keep saying, we looked into it, we don't find no gaming, how did y'all look into it? There's ways of spoofing this stuff with cell phone site testers and stuff like that. And it can make up MAC addresses and stuff like that. How are y'all investigating this? Are y'all backing it up with GPS data or anything? Probably not. But again, I'm not going to be the only person complaining, because I look like a whiny baby, and that gives the haters ammunition on, you know, Grumpy's doing this kind of stuff like that. It ain't up to me no more to that. I'm just going to, what my plan is right now is, when I go on this trip and I get to Washington, D.C., and I get to Boston, and I get to New York, or Philadelphia, wherever we end up going, I better watch my rewards go up by $1 million a day, or 1 million points a day. Because if not, it's going to be a whole nother video. This is me walking around. Y'all said that walking around was the key and all this stuff like that, and I got 200,000. Why am I not getting 2 million? Because I'll be driving also, so the taxi cab driver, we'll see. We'll see. But again, I'm telling y'all about it because this is my Chirp KAGE update. That I don't think they're doing enough about spoofing, but I'm not going into the Discord no more and cry about it, because I'm the only one. When I brought it up 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had a bunch of people supporting me on it. And when Chirp said, oh, we looked into it, it's good, nobody else complained about it. Like as if they thought if they complained, Chirp was going to hurt their rewards or something. I don't know. Or maybe nobody else cares. But if they should realize, though, if you knock these two top guys out for cheating, there's a big chunk of tokens now that gets moved down to the people that are in the top 100, top 200, top 500, top 1,000. I just want the cheaters removed so that it evenly distributes those tokens correctly. That's it. All right, moving on from that. GEODNET. Thank goodness we're starting to see a little more positive action in GEODNET. I was getting a little worried for a little while. But again, I joke, this is a project that is very, very solid that I have zero issues with right now. They're up 5% in a day and 6% in a week. But you can see they were down to this level down here, and then they kind of shot up to right at this last point. Hopefully this is some momentum that they can keep going on. Not no big increase, 19 cents to 20 cents, but hey, we'd rather see some green than this number be negative. Just some announcements from GEODNET. They're doing some type of invite only, register attendance, deployer conference or whatever, June 26th in New York City. And they got the forms and stuff that you can sign up for. The usual safety stuff. GEODNET team will not do this, this, and this, and stuff like that. That's about it. You know, I covered last week that they did a huge burn, 265 for May, $265,000 worth of Geo tokens. That was 14 million tokens burned to date. A lot of burning. And the friendly reminder that there is a halving coming to your rewards in 21 days. 21 days. The device is $690, give or take a little bit, but you can get a code at GrumpyDad56 at Helium Deploy or hotfix.ai. So that is GeoDNet. Moving on is NATIX. Yep, NATIX is still hanging around up here. When you look at what the price action's been of NATIX, for the week, it's still kind of holding steady. Yeah, it's down 14%, but it was 15 cents, is now 13 cents. Hey, for this project, this is a positive for me. When you look at it for the month still, you're still looking at some green, 105% up in a month. You hope whatever, this momentum is, and it stays green. For the day, it was only down 2%, 13 cents is still 13 cents. So we'll look at the positives for NATIX. This is a positive still. After this price jump, you thought it would really correct like some other projects, but no, it's I'll take this. I'll take this as a win. No real news in NATIX, no real news, no big announcements. There was an issue a couple of days ago. People complaining it's happening every 3 or 4 days with your missions and stuff, that you can't claim your missions and stuff. I haven't had this issue, and I'm running this every day. And again, I'm pretty hyped that I'm going to run this with do a nitro boost at the same time for the week while I am on this trip with a 20-hour drive time. So that should really help me out with NATIX and even Soarchain to a point. So, we'll see what happens with that. Moving on from NATIX, keep it moving. It's going to be Earnapp. Now I'm putting Earnapp in its own spot. I did a video on Earnapp. I'll try to remember to link it at the end of this video. Some people question, is Earnapp really a crypto project? I think it is. It's all looped together with some of these other ones, and you get rewards. You're getting rewarded, and getting rewarded actually pretty decently. Now I did a video on this 4 days ago. 4 days ago. It had to be Thursday, Friday. I can't remember. Wednesday night, Thursday. I don't know. Anyway, and I was up to $125 with Earnapp. Today, I am at $155. So in 4 days, I've made $20. Now, again, I'm running this on several devices. I'm not going to say a lot of you. Trying to figure out exactly what I am making with this project it's kind of hard, because different things have different bandwidth. You don't know how much it's going to use for that point. I'm going to tell you, I have Earnapp running on different networks. I don't notice any kind of draw from it or anything like that. It's using, some of them are using about a half gig a day, which when you break that down over 24 hours, it's not a lot. It's 500 megs. Break that down, I don't know. And you're getting paid like $1 per gig. So it appears to be making somewhere between 40 cents to 50 cents a day, which you look at these projects, it's not that bad. I've told you before, like anything that I have running grass, old laptops, third-party software. Actually, what I even started running Earnapp on, and maybe I need to do a video because somebody's going to ask for it, is my DIY Wingbits devices that are running Raspberry Pis. You can run Earnapp on that also. So if you're running you're thinking, I don't have a laptop to run this on, you can actually go to the Earnapp website, earnapp.com, and it has where you can get the script for the Raspberry Pi. So it's right here. You just run that on client or whatever you want to call it. Please just make sure you use my code that's in the description below. That helps the channel out, but it also helps you out with a bonus to start off with. So I've seen, since my Thursday video, I've had a couple of people, looks like that they signed up for it. Some people might have been using it already, but there has been a big uptick lately in rewards. That's what kind of made me start looking at this again. And I'm like, yeah, it is an update. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. $155 can probably pay for, Wendy's or McDonald's for one day for my family on this trip. But $155 is probably gonna help me. Normally what I try to do with these earn projects like this, with Honeygain and stuff like that, I normally save that till November come hunting season. I might be talking out the wrong side of my mouth here, but with Wingbits, hopefully, as they say, going to mainnet in late August, September, I'm hoping some of those financial struggles aren't as bad as they normally are. I'm playing. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to be talking about all that, because then somebody will be attacking me for saying that kind of stuff. But normally I say that for the hunting season. Hopefully I won't need it for the hunting season, so I'm thinking about using that as a little spending money for my family on this trip. And again, what's cool about it is it's not really tied to a token, so I can move that somehow to cash, and I'll have to figure that part out. Or even if I got to buy something for Amazon for this trip, I can just put that on the Amazon card and use that, and then save the money I was going to spend with Amazon and just save it for spending money on the trip. You know, whatever way you want to do that. But that's Earnapp. Again, I'll put a link to that video at the end. Make sure you use the link in the description below, please. Next is Weather XM. I still have my Weather XM station down. It's been over a month going back and forth with tech support on the email. Literally, they wanted a video of me taking brand new batteries out of a package, putting it into the device, hitting the reset button, and showing what the LED does. The LED is just solid red. I read through websites all day trying to reset it. It is not giving off a signal. It is solid red LED. I sent that video back, asking if there's anything else you'd like me to try. And as usual, I still haven't heard nothing back. I guess their tech support only works at nighttime in America. I don't know, but you know, we'll see. I do have to say, for Weather XM, after a pretty bad dump that they've been having over the month, they have finally recovered kind of at this last minute. Luckily, I'm not doing this video this morning, but at this last minute, they have kind of a resurgence. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know what it's involving. So it was at 20 cents earlier, and it's now at almost 22 cents. That's up 9 or 10% for the week, and we'll take anything in the green at this point. I don't see nothing fail. I'm going to keep mining all this stuff. People ask me that all the time. You know, maybe I need to go over that again. People ask me, oh, you still mining that? I thought you were done with that. And it's something I need to just make sure I say again. I might come in here and talk ill of Weather XM or DIMO. I'm probably going to have to go to church and splash some holy water on my head by the time I'm done talking about DIMO at the end of this video. But I'm still going to keep mining it. I've already paid for the devices. Same thing with Helium. You know, and I know I say some of this, I regurgitate some of the same stuff every week on the video, and I apologize to y'all, but there's always somebody new watching these videos that didn't watch last week. Helium. People were trying to make this huge statement on Discord. Yeah, or in the Facebook groups. I unplugged my Helium. Why? Just let it go. I got Helium miners not go what I don't want no more to go down, but they have been running for 5 years. Damn, it's been a long time. And they've lasted through 2 hurricanes, 2 Cat 5 hurricanes. Yeah. Hurricane Ida and Hurricane Francine wasn't a 5. I'm sorry. Backed it off a little bit, 2 or 3, whatever. 100-mile-an-hour winds. How about that? 100+ mile-an-hour winds, 100-mile-an-hour winds, 85 to 100. Anyway, they survived, and they're still there. Why would I take them down? Even if they are making me $3 every 2 or 3 days, it still all stacks up. Same thing with these other ones. People are like, are you still into DIMO? I'm in DIMO right now, but I'll discuss DIMO, what's going on with DIMO later. But even these other ones, Weather XM, I'm not going to pay for this. If they tell me there's something wrong, this device just made a little over a year old, maybe. If they tell me it's out of warranty and I got to fix it, y'all thought the DIMO video was bad. This could be bad. You know, a couple of days after warranty, my device goes and that thing goes out. Oh, Jesus. But anyway, we'll wait and see what happens with Weather XM. I have another Weather XM station here at the house. Keep on mining it. You know, NATIX. Soarchain. I'm not happy with those projects to a point. I'll keep on mining it. Why would I stop? Only announcement really from WeatherXM was this: join our track in the PL Genesis Hackathon starting today. That was 3-4 days ago. So June 5th to July 6th. Y'all can go find out about that. All right, so we're moving on, trying to catch up a little time here. Helium IoT, we just talked about it. This price is tanking. We talked about this earlier. I don't know what the hell's going on. If anybody knows what's going on, please, is it just Helium being Helium? We're down to $2.96. Come on, guys. Like, somebody, please. There's a lot of people who watch this who are Helium OGs. I don't even say like me. Y'all were in it before me. I learned half the stuff from y'all. You know, I know y'all from the Helium group. Somebody please tell me what the hell is going on here. Down 11%. But you have this post right here that says H&T daily burn for carry offload over 12,000 burned. $12,000 burned in a single day. $70,000 burned in 7 days. Helium's burning $3 million a year in H&T for carry offload. But yeah, look at the price. I'm missing something. There's something going on here. And I keep saying this is a working project. Like, we have more and more people signing up for the Helium cellular service and data and mobile, all that stuff like that. What? Somebody help me out, please, and tell me what the hell's going on. I'm awestruck by this. So yeah, I'm making, I got 19 stations online. The last time I sat here, I'm not even gonna sit in a lot of y'all. I didn't do the math today, with this lower price. So this is probably gonna be closer to 25 cents a day, maybe. Because I don't collect it every day. I wait about every 5 or 6, 7 days. I'm like, you know what? I haven't collected my H&T lately from my 19 stations. I got separated on 2 different wallets. So I have to go in the app and do all that. And I'm like, I don't even know if all 19 stations are online. I say all that. I don't check to see if there's 19 rewards there. I don't know. Somebody help me out. Tell me what the hell's going on with Helium. Silencio. I have to remind people that I am a OG with Silencio, as they call it. I'm not giving myself that crown. They call it OG because I have been doing Silencio for a long time, maybe 2 years now, if it's been out that long. I know there was no hexes around me done or anything like that. So I'm getting a lot of bonus raffle tickets for Silencio. But despite what some people say, this YouTuber works the hell out that project every day right now, because I'm trying to do 800,000 raffle tickets for this month. I did 700,000 for last month. I'm trying to get 800,000 raffle tickets for this month. I'm staking all the Silencio I get. Now, a lot of it comes up in 3 months. I don't know what I'm going to do in 3 months. I'll have to wait and see, because in 2 or 3 months, you should be getting the other half. If it's been, it might be less than that. But the other half of your airdrop for being an OG. So that's why I staked a lot of mine in the beginning. Got some pretty decent staking rates. Plus, you're getting a lot more bonuses for those raffle tickets. I still have an issue with the fact that I had 700,000 raffle tickets and I only got 111,000 Silencio today. So it's 700,000 raffle tickets. I got 111,000 tokens. That's worth today $21 for a month's worth of work. Again, and that's with me having a lot of this bonus. My kids who don't have a lot of this OG bonus, who are still, running it when they can, they got pennies. It's sad. It's very sad. There's a lot of people complaining about what the hell's going on with Silencio right now. A lot of positive momentum that you had for the price that was coming up, down 36% in the last week. For the month, you're still in this green. You're up 69%, 0.0010 to 0.0018, down 83% for the year. I don't know. I, look, I get what they're trying to get. The problem is the questions coming up is how accurate can the sound readings be? Because if you drive slow enough, supposedly you can do the driving thing. I know that for a fact. I've learned that if you try to even ride a bike, you can't do this. I've had people say that even if you're jogging too fast, you can't do this. So, there's a lot of FUD out there, and some of it's accurate. I know there's a lot of cheating going on. People are pointing this out in the Discord. I discussed it last week. I don't really want to discuss it again, but no real announcements in their announcements page. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what we're gonna get out of Silencio. But again, I'm gonna keep chugging along with it. On this vacation, I'm sure I'm gonna find many venues that have never been hit. There's nothing more exciting than when you're looking for a venue and you see that be the first thing. You know you're gonna hit the lottery on that one. Because hell, now you can do the 10s or the 100Xs after a venue, and that's some pretty good points, which goes to raffle tickets. I wish they would just start paying us for one for whatever we do. Give me some Silencio tickets and call it a day. They are trying to do the subscription for no ads. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, because I'm gonna tell you, life is so much easier with no ads, but I feel like I'm getting played right into it. But again, I'm gonna kind of see on this trip. At least on this trip, I don't have to worry about ads. So I'm gonna hit venues. I'm gonna hit some venues over and over again. So we'll see what it looks like at the end of the month for that. Moving on to Soarchain. Nothing really big on Soarchain either. Still got this price going down, even with all the staking that's going on. They have some excellent staking rates, and I'm staking about every other day. 60-something% staking. I'm getting 55 or so free tokens a day just from staking, and I'm compounding that and staking it right back. I'm making more in staking. I'm making double what I'm a day in staking than I am in normal call rewards. Over the weekend, we did drive up to Mississippi and back to check out my hunting camp. I got to do a video on that, and I still only got 40 or 50 tokens for that, for a 2-hour drive there and back. I think that's crazy. But I am running that camera app, or on the app, the camera thing, so that, and I got a huge chunk of miles so far. I'm sure they got people who have way more than me, but I think, I'm taking a chance that might be worth something. So, when I go to rewards today, driving around today, I got 21 for today, but I have 106,000 D SOAR, which I'm guessing is the testnet token for the camera deal. And I have 2,158 miles worth of camera usage so far. So some rewards, some announcements. I don't think I went over this last week, so I'm going to go there now. They are finalizing the DSOAR rewards. And one thing I think is interesting is that they are going to say that not all uploaded images will be qualified for rewards. They're fine-tuning their AI models, because what I've noticed is that this is based on, I guess, GPS movement. I can take, because I tested it. I don't do this all the time. This is the third phone I have sitting on my dashboard. But what I've noticed is that even if you take this and put it in your lap and you cover the camera up and you drive a mile down the road, you look up and you got 10 photos taken. So it's going off movement, not quality. So I am glad to see some quality photos, but I can see people crying now saying, I know I'm taking quality photos and I'm not getting rewards for it. It's coming. They do have a upcoming token burn, significant token burn. I hope it's something, but y'all better start adding liquidity and stop the bleed. Y'all going to have to add liquidity, or is this going to be a DIMO where and look, maybe they got some things in common with DIMO. Maybe they need to just team up, because DIMO has a bleed like a hemorrhage, and we're going to talk about DIMO in a second. But, they both of these OB2 port plug-in projects that maybe just ain't working, or companies aren't interested in them. I don't know. But they both got some problems. Both of them have a slow bleed on their token. And where even Silencio went up a decent amount, 69% for the month. They better figure out something. But again, I already own these devices, so I'm not going to give up on them. Just keep on going. ERWIN, been staying on top of ERWIN. So if you're in our Discord, you do have Who Farted right here, who does remind us to make sure we keep our ERWINs charged every 3 days. Luckily, it's for him. That's why I am on top of mine. And because if y'all remember in the past, I had a bad habit of forgetting to charge my ERWIN every 3 days. So even with him reminding me, there have been some burns, and the more people that sell this token, the more burns you get, and cats burned in the box or whatever you want to call it. So right now we're averaging about 16 cents a day. Another one that needs some help with the pricing, but it's been also slowly going down since the beginning. As you can see, this thing was 50 cents at one point, down 11 cents. $4,000 in liquidity. And as you can see, you see all these sells down here. Everybody wants to sell, which is going to cause the bone. I question about, you know, all these removals and stuff. Forget for liquidity, whatever the hell it is. But again, it's on the ESP32 device in my little hub behind me, and it just runs. All right, so we're moving on. Next is going to be Grass. Grass is in the middle of Epoch 8. Again, I hate to regurgitate the same thing. I don't agree with a project that is only rewarding people once a year. That's what ends up being, you know, averaged out to. How a token that was only released one time to rewards keeps having this kind of price action, I don't know. But Grass has always been a mystery to me that I have not been able to call. So it's up 25% for the month, 13% from $1.80 to $2 the last week, and up 6 or 7% up today. But no word. We're in Epoch 8. Last time there was 8 epochs for rewards. They have been kind of hinting that there's not going to be a reward at the end of this Epoch 8. I'm wondering if it's going to be October to be a true once a year thing. There's never any communication from this project at all. Never. It's the communication side of this project, for how popular it is with all the people involved, it's horrible. Moving on. Number 11, Honeygain pawns. Like I said before, anything that I'm running Grass on, I'm also running Honeygain's pawns. I want to say that on one or two of my devices, Earnapp started giving me an issue about too many of these data type projects on it, and I had to remove pawns. And since I did that, it stopped either Honeygains or pawns. I don't want, but that's something I've kind of seen, because in what rewards are with Earnapp compared to these other ones, Earnapp wins. So moving on to number 12. Yep, y'all been waiting for this one. Take a deep breath. So if you watch my live Thursday, I do a live on Thursdays, I commented on I guess he's the COO, the number 2 guy of DIMO, and on X, when they announced that they were doing subscriptions, and he wanted to respond to me. And y'all know me. If I'm right, I'm going to respond back. And I responded back on live TV. I mean, on live video. So you never know what you're going to miss when you're on live with me. I'm sure the peer pressure, I just blame it on the peer pressure. But they have announced that they're going to subscriptions. Now, what they're trying to fall back on is that we all were supposed to read the super duper fine print, you know, the super duper itty bitty fine print. Now, we've all seen this meme before, but yes, I was trying to find the fine print on DIMO. But anyway, so yes, they're trying to say that we knew autopods and macarons were going to have a subscription at some point, and I call BS all day on that. Did a lot of videos on DIMO, watched a lot of video on DIMOs, read a lot of things on DIMOs from DIMO, and don't remember that. The only thing I knew that was going to have a subscription, which common sense would say it would, I tried telling people it would, is the LTER one. And even those people upset. That's the only thing I will defend DIMO on is you bought a cellular device. And I tried telling people this in Discords, and as usual, just like back in the day in Helium and some of these other ones, I get called Mr. Negative and the cheerleaders want to come and blah, 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 blah. And I try telling people, by the time you pay for a subscription, your LTE R1s are going to be chit, CHIT, so I don't get in trouble. And people want to be negative. And guess what? Now that you have a cellular subscription coming up, guess what you reward? Oh no, the LTE R1s get 4 extra rewards or whatever it is, 8 extra rewards, whatever. Guess what? Still going to be chit. The Macrons that are I just showed y'all that's making 14 cents a day for a new person at today's price is going to be making $4.20 a month. And even that $4.20 is not cool. You're going to be paying, they said a reduced rate, so it's not going to be the full $9, but even if it's $5 or $6 or $4 or $3 for subscription, you can make $1 a month. I don't know what they're going to do. What they're trying to say is you're paying for the connectivity to somehow that your data has to go from your Macron or whatever the AutoPod, whatever device is plugged in, there'll be 2 port to be able to get to DIMO. You're basically paying for that service. How is it getting back? You know, if it's getting back through Helium, hey, DIMO's paying for the Helium connectivity and you're reimbursing, whatever. But a lot of people, I would say 99% of the people that have commented on my Discord or on my video I made the other day specifically about this, I'll try to link it at the end with everything else. I'm going to forget. 99% of people are in an uproar about this. And whenever subscription starts, they're disconnecting. Me, for Macrons, I have 1.5 years left. And of course, Mr. Negative, Django, whatever his name is, wants to say that I shouldn't be crying or talking about this because I have 1.5 years left. No, I'm here to discuss the news, a-hole. And the news is DIMO starting to charge subscriptions, and 99% of the people are not happy with it. And that's what's going on in the DPN DIMO world, and I'm going to cover it. So go sit down somewhere. And then you're blocked anyway, so I can't see what you're going to say anyway, because I'm too old for that nonsense. But at 14 cents a day, it ain't worth it. So even at the 27 cents a day, if that's $7 or $8 a month, you're still not covering what the subscription is going to be at $9. Who pays for that? I truly think this is a complete poker hand showing that DIMO is about wiped out. That's my true belief. You as a DPN company, your main bread and butter is you have to get this info from our OB2 ports. If people start quitting and you can't get that info, your whole model's out the window. I think what it is DIMO is not as profitable or not as popular or doesn't have all these customers like we have been led to believe over the last 2 years. Either they're pissing that money away, because I've asked on the X and I've asked on the Discord, where has all this money been? Where all this money you'll have coming to customers? Apparently it ain't going into liquidity on the token, because that has been a slow hemorrhaging bleed for 1 year, 2 years. I don't know. Let's look. So you're down 22% for the month. You're down 70% for the year. So you basically been down from 21 cents down to 6 cents. You had this little high where it came back up here in December. That's when people started thinking they were going to be millionaires again and making all this money from DIMO. I don't know what happened, or they finally put a little bit of liquidity in their token and people thought things were going to go. This might be when the R1 got released and everybody thought it was going to be the savior. But you look at all time, yeah, people who came and said, oh, you know, in the beginning, I made all kinds of money. You know, it was up to 40, 50 cents, 57 cents. That was March of 2024. So basically for 1 year and 3 months, it has been a slow bleed down. I don't know, you know, I know they're trying to put a lot of faith in this new partnership they have with group. They're in the Discord announcements trying to explain themselves, clarifying, free, you know, before today, you were promised on the product page. Let me tell you something. I will argue with this all freaking day that nobody saw this right here, and nobody saw this, because I have yet to find anybody that can vouch that they saw this. One guy came in my comments and said people need to learn to read before they purchase. What is there to read? Because I'm telling you, you didn't see this anywhere. And I read the white papers. You didn't see this anywhere. The only thing you saw was this, and now they're even getting rid of this. Their argument, we're going to drop the cost of the R1 down to $99 or whatever it is, probably because they ain't been selling. You probably got a buttload of them in a box somewhere. But they're also are reducing this, I think the R1 down like to 6 months or something like that. The 6 months, you still get what you promised. So, but now if you bought an R1 yesterday, this was a couple of days ago, you get 2 years free. The 6 months mentioned is R1s going from today forward at $99. I don't know what the R1s will cost them before that. Many Autopilot owners on year 3 of their 1 year free trial. They're late in charge of, no, because you're changing. We're not stupid, dude. Whoever this Rob Solomon guy is, he looks like a squared away dude. Looks like somebody I'd like to go have some drinks with and discuss some deep in stuff with him. But not, dude, we're not idiots. This is, if you know, I'm aging myself, this is Peanuts and was it Lucy or whatever, moving the football out the way. We're not stupid. Autopilot owners are on a year 3 of their year 1 free trial. And they're quite late. Dude, we're not stupid. Y'all weren't going to charge, and now all of a sudden y'all changing it. And then he says, oh, if the experience with your Autopilot Macaron isn't good in terms of data quality, R1 could fix that. So now you're talking us into buying another project that in 6 months we're going to need to get it. Even Tesla will have to pay some type of subscription, even though it's going to be less because of that connectivity. Macaron will be a reduced amount because the cheap cost of the IoT network, fewer features, and lower earnings. Non-Tesla software cars will likely be getting upgraded to get much better data, which will cost us more, hence the subscription. Nobody's being charged yet, but it's supposed to start August 1. Bouncy, Tesla, Fixed-D, whatever, also charge subscriptions. So now he's trying to justify it by saying, hey, these other people charge subscriptions, so it's okay if we do it. No, because we didn't join them. We joined you. If you're receiving a product for free, it's because you are the product. We do not sell your data. DIMO burns tokens when you use apps. So this is also where it's pivoting also that I'm not the only one losing my mind. Now they're trying to say, well, actually, they're kind of admitting it. We do not sell your data. What have we been in this project for 2 or 3 years for? Not just to get a data to your server so we can go and sell it at Walmart or sell it to people who we want to do. Am I calling up GM and saying, hey, would you like to buy this? This insurance company, State Farm. Hey, would you like to buy this? I'm selling data to my car. DIMO was supposed to be doing that for us. That was the whole thing. That was the whole carrot, what we've been listening to for 2 years. Now, what it is I really think, like I said earlier, I know this is going way too long and I apologize, but I think they are failing and nobody wants to buy this from them. Oh, the 1 or 2 customers they had that they might have put some liquidity in it. Again, I asked the question, how are they with customers? How much liquidity have they put in their tokens? How much finances have they put in their coffers? We know they did all these seed raising and fundraising in the beginning. What happened to all of it? What I want to know is what's Rob Solomon making? Because we learned with Helium, as we just saw with Helium, with people, pissed off with them. And while we're sitting here making 32 cents a day, probably less on 19 stations each, guess what? June 1st, you had 325,000 Helium that got dropped to investors every month. Before the halving, it was 750,000. 2 years before that halving, it was 1.5 million H&T that were dropped every month to investors. So even at 325,000, right now, the token's at $3, right? Your investors made $975,000 just this month, June 1st. And people want to know why we are sick of Helium's shit. I want to know if the same game is going on here. Everybody's complaining that they think this is the same thing that happened with Helium that's happening here. And I want to know. So what do people say? Go to AMA. Do you really think this dude's going to answer my questions? But I'm going to be there. 10 a.m. Central Time in the United States on Wednesday, 2 days from now. And they're going to have questions, and people can't wait. And I think it's going to be a crazy show. So again, right now, as a new Macron person, you're making 14 cents a day. And that's even with having some of the things staked and your online account attached. Also, I know I got heat for saying this the other day about Mr. Jenga, but for somebody who hates me so much, apparently knows everything I'm talking about in my videos. I guess he's still waiting for his fly to show up from D-Fly that he was promised, or his reward, or whatever the hell it is, exchange. But I'm still no longer ROI'd on my 3 devices. Here we are 18 months later, 3 devices at $89 a piece that I paid for out of my pocket, $89 a piece. And it was, just so I can clear it, Mr. Jenga, that was a DIMO special at the time. DIMO said if you buy 3 or more Macrons, it was $89 a piece plus shipping. I paid for that. Nut special, no special codes. Then I had a friend who had 2 of them in a box who said, this is horrible. I'm not even hooking these things up, about 2 or 3 months ago. Gave me 2 more of them that I hooked up in the vehicles. So the last 2 months I've been getting DIMO for free from no cost devices. That's 5 devices. And here we are in June of 2025. I still cannot ROI on 3 $270 devices. $270 together. Speaks for itself. Arriving this week. Y'all been telling me to get into it. Y'all been telling me that I messed up, whatever. I have arriving this week a rover. You will see a video this week on rover covering that project. Hoping I can get it into my hands before I leave on this trip. But you're going to start seeing a lot of social media pushing on rover. They got some very big things coming. Helium Deploy has the rover. They're going to be doing a big blitz coming up soon on the rover. You can get the rover from Helium Deploy with my code at GrumpyDad56 with 10% off. But you're going to start seeing rover in a lot of places coming up in the next couple of days. There's a huge push going on from the rover people, from Helium Deploy, and they're all kind of just coming together at the same time. I think you can see a lot of social media people talking about it on X and stuff like that. So expect that video to come out. And again, Helium Deploy is where you can pick it up at. And there's going to be a big blitz, with their other device coming out later the year. You're going to start seeing a lot more stuff from rover soon. And I'm pretty excited to be part of that after y'all have told me in my lives over and over again that I'm missing out. I need to jump on a rover train. So here I am. Hopefully it'll be here soon so I can put that in my hands and get this video out to y'all. Testnet's Wingbits. I haven't really heard anything more about Wingbits. I know that the Discord is very, very popular. A lot of things going on. A couple of things behind the scenes I don't want to discuss yet that in the testnet group that I'm in with them, me and several other people. Some things they're discussing and just throwing around as far as ideas, and it would be way too irresponsible for me to even discuss any of that stuff. So I'm not discussing that till they say I can. But just know that they're not just sitting back waiting for mainnet. These guys are working, and they are working on several different things. And my devices are rolling and just making wings or test the wings. So 375 AI, not really anything going on with them either. One thing about Wingbits I want to make sure I hit on is there wasn't another map update. Again, these guys are still working. They're not just sitting back waiting for testnet. They're still working. So there is a new map aircraft details enhanced thing where you can toggle it and see more details of it and stuff like that. eye toggle to keep the map centered on the craft view and different things like that. There's a client update, but we were playing with this the other day. What's cool is, like, you know, again, you can click on it, it pops up stuff. You can see the track where it came from. We were playing with this on my live on Thursday. It was pretty cool. They had some claim issues. They resolved those. And there's a chat icon on the bottom right of the web page that is some human and AI support. So some of the basic questions at the beginning are AI, and then it kind of steers you which way you need to go after that. And then you get to a person that will eventually help you. And missing wallets UI, that resolved also. So that's Wingbits. And 375 AI has not had any updates at all since the middle of May. So, you know, unless you want to go play poker, scribe or something. But that's everything going on in our deep in world. It's been a long day, long night now. I feel like these videos keep getting longer and longer, even though I try to skip through some things in the middle. Hey, you know what? Haters are going to hate. Some people say that the fact I'm getting haters, whatever. Has made fun of me with making comments about saying I'm begging y'all for money. I don't think I've ever asked y'all ever for donations. I made a joke one time about years ago. I mean, it might have been years ago, months ago, about some bills coming in and I'll do donations. So I've never asked y'all for donations at all. And, you know, I get triggered to a point because I know it's false. And my just issue with that is when you're in, the first time was in Soarchain's Discord. And this time it happened in DIMO's Discord. There are many people in there who don't know me, don't know anything about my channel, anything like that. And they listen to this loudmouth say, you know, this stuff with 25% accuracy. And then he wants to sit there and make fun of me because I did a video last week with my heart, blood pressure and stuff like that. And, you know, again, he's upset over DFly stuff. So I blocked him on Discord. I'm over with it. And I ain't letting it bother me. We're going to keep on going. So, you know, with that, I still think it's an awesome time to be in some, you know, deep in these projects, even though rewards might not be great, but, you know, we have a lot of stuff that's coming to fruition right now. And, you know, we'll see what happens. A lot of projects that are coming into mainnet, coming to mainnet soon, more projects that I like to get involved in, ROVR, Nubla with the weather station. I was supposed to be getting one. I don't know where the status is of that one. So, you know, we'll see what happens with everything. So I need to go work on this stuff. I need to make sure I tag these videos for y'all at the end. And that's about it. I'll see y'all in the next video. Thursday, we'll be having a live, 7 p.m. Central Time. And, of course, I got some videos in between that. Tuesday, Wednesday, hopefully. So thank you. I'll see you on the next video.